Hey gamers, have you ever wondered what it's like to ride a demon into battle as an undead ninja with thousands of people around the world? Well, World of Warcraft might be for you. It may be hard to understand at first, but I am here to show you what you're missing. To show you, I will be using this epic gamer setup. Alright, here we go. Our setup. Mountain Dew bottles at hand. We got AirPods, of course, looking sexy as always. Dual monitor setup, microphone, heated blanket because it gets cold down here. We got a nice PS4 and VR as well. Now let's get into it.
It was an amazing game with over 15,000 quests, millions of interchangeable armor customization, and millions of players around the world. Although WoW is 15 years old, it's easily one of the most popular games to date, often ranking top 2 or 3 in Twitch and YouTube views. I've been playing WoW for about 6 years now, which may seem like a lot to you, but this is not every day, it's on and off. And WoW is, like I said, been around for over 15 years, so in comparison, it's actually pretty small to a lot of players. Now, I'll be talking about World of Warcraft's backstory, what to do in the game, and the community that makes the game so special. So, World of Warcraft, or WoW, has a very long and complicated backstory. I could not explain it to you in any simple way. It honestly doesn't make sense to most people, anyways, that play the game. So, um, the backstory, basically, what you need to know when playing the game, compared to the actual lore, is quite different. So, what you need to know when playing the game is basically there are two and then sometimes three factions. Two main factions: Alliance, Horde. The character you get to choose if you want to be Alliance or Horde. Alliance and Horde have different factions, different character groups. Horde has, for example, orcs, undead, trolls, that sort of group, while the Alliance has more normal characters: humans, dwarves, I mean, even gnomes, um, as well as elves, that sort of thing. Although dark elves and elves are on different sides, so it gets confusing. The third faction kind of changes between what DLC or downloadable content that you're playing. Now, each DLC has a different story, different characters, different range of battles and stuff. But basically, the third faction can change between either the undead, different than the Horde's undead. It's a little more complicated. The Legion, who are sort of like demons, that interdimensional demons, and the neutral faction of Pandaria, which, as you guessed, is pandas. Now, Pandaria was not the most successful DLC or downloadable content. For the fact of that they're fat pandas doing ninja flips and hitting people with sticks. But, it's still important to the game and adds a lot of lore. There are infinite possibilities of content, so you'll never run out of things to do or to see. There are, as I said, over 15,000 quests, and those come in the form of quest lines. So you get to choose what quests you want to do, when you want to do them, if you want to do any quests at all. You travel to each country, each continent, and you sort of pick and choose your quests, and you pick and choose the quest line that you want. To complete an entire area, you have to do all the quest lines, but you don't have to complete an area unless you want the achievement, which will give you experience points and stuff to level up your character. Now, like I said, there's continents. Obviously, there's continents on the main area you're in, the main planet, which is Azeroth. It's like a whirlpool, but it's really big. Each of the continents has anywhere between 5 to 20 little areas, little countries to go to. and each of those countries has about 5 quest lines. So you multiply 5 by like 6, and you have like 30 quest lines in each area. Now, I said there's about 15,000. How could that be? Well, that comes in the form of dungeons and raids, which are really important to the game because that is the end goal. Dungeons will help you progress and level up, gain gear as you level up, but the end goal is to do raids with upwards of 20 to 40 people, because sometimes it could take upwards of 3 to 4 hours to kill the final boss of the game. To kill the final boss of the raid, sorry, not the game, the raid, which contributes to the lore, but more importantly, gets you loot. Loot. Very important, very special, and often fought over, since the loot dropped in these raids is not guaranteed. If it drops, then it's up to you and your party members to decide who gets it. If someone steals it, they might not be able to raid again, since people will obviously be kind of mad. People get very, very angry. Obviously, you spend 6 hours doing something and someone steals it, you're not going to be happy. And that brings me to my next point, really, which is kind of contradictory, but the World of Warcraft community is very strong and very helpful to new players. They're very eager to help new people, get them introduced to the game, and help them along on the way. My first time playing, I obviously had no idea what I was doing. I asked for some help, and what do you know, some max level people dropped me off some very high gear that got me started for the next few levels of the game, which is very nice. And almost every person you meet is like that. There'll always be people in chat asking and talking about if they need help, if someone can help them with a quest, because sometimes the quest can be very long, very hard. Let's say you have to get 10 drops from an enemy, and there's only a 5% chance it'll drop it, and the enemy spawns maybe once or twice every 5 minutes. It's going to take you an hour or two to do that. With another person, you can up your chances, and maybe you can drop that time in half or even a quarter it. And although the community is very strong, there's the two factions I talked about earlier, Alliance and Horde, and people are very, very respectful of their own alliance. They're very protective of their side. For example, I am Horde all the way. If you're Alliance, we can't be friends. Sorry, but Horde is just way cooler. Although Alliance has its benefits, Horde is just known as being cooler. That's just how it is. I do hope you learned something about this game. I know none of you came into this class and wanted to hear this. I also know that I am currently at 8 minutes, but there's just really no way to talk about this game in less than that. I mean, I barely talked about, I barely got into the game at all, and I'm already out of time. I do hope that you did learn something about this game. Maybe you'll try it out. I know most of you probably won't, and I understand that not every game is for everybody, and just know that if you do want to try it out, there's definitely people that are ready to help you get into the game if you feel like playing. So I hope you try it out if you feel like, and if you don't, well, you didn't want to hear it anyways, so there you go.